This is the main attraction. Rob Wharne, the whacker, about to break off against Malta's Ryan Pisani. This is from the losers section. The winner of this will have to play one more match tonight to get through to the last 16. The loser will be going home.
Yeah, both have actually had wins this weekend, even though they are in the losers section. Obviously, Rob's first game of the weekend, he beat Ricky Jones 2-0. He then lost to Liam White, and then he came back on and won again, beating Rob Chambers. Ryan Pisani, a kind of similar fate. Won his first game of the weekend, beat Eddie Barker, and then he went on and lost to 𝗠𝗵𝗃𝗵𝗵𝗵, and then came back on and beat Aaron Davies. So 2 wins out of 3 for both players, so they're not in bad form at all. Both will probably see this as a good opportunity to go deep in another weekend, as I say, even though they've lost one already.
Yeah, just look at this split from Rob Wharne. This is both these players' first visit to this arena, the main television table for this weekend.
The main arena table plays so differently, obviously. Playing on the Rassons here, they're reactive differently and on the cushions, and even with the cue ball itself. But for somebody of Rob's class and for somebody of Ryan's class, it shouldn't take them too long to adjust. Obviously, season's pros now. Obviously, Ryan in his 2nd season. Rob's been on since point 1, so should be a good match in hand.
Rob Wharne, a man in a hurry. The whacker draws first blood. And off we go again. So we started the 2nd set here. There's 𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗵. He's already lost the 1st set 5-1 to John Rowe. So he'll want to erase the memory of that very quickly.
Best part of set format, isn't it, Tony? You can just start again, can't you, even if you get battered in the first one. Got a second bite of the cherry.
From the offset, and I'll keep referring back to it, Tom Cousins against Josh 𝗍. Tom wins the opening set 5-1. I think if it's a race of 7 or 8, I think he just strolls away to victory. There's a reset. Josh comes out, batters Tom 5-1, and then Tom had a couple of dry breaks in the last set, and Josh played very, very well and got himself over the line. So Ryan Pisani, the P, breaks us off in the 2nd frame, makes a ball.
Yeah, it's good to see Ryan Pisani back this year. Obviously, I know some of the Maltese obviously have kind of struggled with the commitments of coming abroad a little bit more to play each year in England, but Ryan obviously seen this as an opportunity. Obviously, he came through as a challenger, didn't he, a couple of years ago, and he's really kind of taken to it. I see Ryan at every event. He's always lingering around the venue. He just loves the atmosphere of it.
He does. I'll tell you what, he's got a lovely restaurant in 𝗏𝗏 in Malta. I've been in it. I'll tell you, the food is fantastic. So, lovely fella is Ryan. Always comes over with his buddy, Clayton Castaldi. Travel together. Former world champion.
Yeah, I mean, when Clayton won that world championship, it kind of upped the ante, didn't it, for a lot of Maltese players? You see so many more kind of here the year after.
When you see them play over there in their team events, and they are, well, raucous, and you know the atmosphere is incredible.
And they're formidable as well. I mean, the times that we see them at the World Championships going deep in every event, they are up there now with kind of the Irish, the Scottish, the English, the Welsh. Oh, they are, and they have been for a number of years now. You know, Malta, you know, are a top pool nation. Simple as that. When you've got somebody that's a world champion, they don't get to that level by playing people that can't play. You know, when I was playing against Malta, you had the likes of Ivan Ritso, Antoine Kushkieri, great players, Joseph Pesela. Obviously, Tony Drago played a bit as well. Yeah. Of course, I mean, Tony was obviously labelled to be one of the pros, one of the years here as well, obviously. But then even you look down the youth brackets, things like that, you know, I think it was the under-18s, wasn't it, last year that Jake Castaldi was in the final. Yeah. Obviously, Jake, obviously a formidable Maltese player that will definitely take the step up in a couple of years. But a good opportunity for Ryan. 2 thunderous breaks here, actually, for both pros, but didn't quite get that right. He just wanted to play it off the yellow, and it hasn't happened, and an opportunity for Rob. Big opening shot in this frame. He's going to cut this yellow in to try and split those 2 reds apart. In fact, he moved the yellow even better.
When this man's in full flow, he is a sight to behold.
Do you think it's a bit of a travesty, Tony, that he hasn't got that ultimate pool title under his belt yet?
Absolutely. I'll tell you another one who's a big fan is Simon Webb.
Yeah.
Always speaks very highly of Rob Wharne.
I mean, it's kind of hard not to for the way that he plays. And I mean, he's been in a couple of finals. He's been close quite a few times now.
Yeah, and he's a real nice guy as well. Oh, just come up far enough. He didn't want that little nudge on the black ball. He's okay.
Yeah, he can just play this off the side cushion now if he wants to come back across. There you go.
Well, this is his strength, his potting. It's raw.
And this is a good start for Rob. That'll annoy Ryan as well, because he had a good opportunity there to get out in that frame, but Rob's going to make him pay for it, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, you've got to be very careful with a player like Rob Wharne. They can gallop off over the hills and far away very quickly. Plays at a good old pace.
The thing is that when his break's functioning as well, and you've just got to sit there after losing a frame like Ryan just has, it's quite painful to watch, to be honest.
His day will come. I'm sure of it. He will win a tournament.
Do you think it will be this year, Tony? The reason that I say that is obviously this year it feels like there's been a few firsts, hasn't there? Obviously Cole got his first, Aaron Davis got his first. Do you think there's maybe a bit of a theme this year? As I say, Tom, I'm not going to say he's gone off the boil, but hasn't quite been as consistent as he was last year. Players like Stevie have gone a bit quieter now. Do you think this is a good opportunity for somebody like Rob to step up?
Stevie's won a tour. Stevie Davis.
Oh yeah, of course he did. He won the one at the start. My apologies. But
so, no, we'll accept them. But no, I get what you're saying, and it could well be a season of firsts. I mean, there's lots to unfold. You don't want that though, Rob.
Yeah, not ideal.
No, and he's looking at the Reds now thinking, oh, I'd just love to be back on the team. Locking those in.
It's horrible when you have that, because you have the momentum. You're putting all the balls, you're clearing up, and then you come up, you've got the break off, you think, yeah, I'm going to go again, and then the white drops, and all of a sudden it's that little slump. And the worst part for him here as well is that he's left this wide open for Ryan as well. It's almost a bit of the issue of being able to break so well, is that you know that if it does go wrong, your opponent's going to get a golden opportunity. But it's not the best opener from Ryan, that.
No, you want to play over to that side and get rid of that red up there, but now he's just got the 2 yellows next to the cue ball. He's hampered. So he might decide to deviate away and go and play that red in the other middle. You know, when you're 2-0 down, you run a little bit of cosh. But then again, you look at Rob's 2 yellows, you think, I've got to stick to my guns here and play this shot. That's where he played the beat.
He can just roll this in, which is the nice part of the shot, and he's played it lovely.
Oh, that's a great shot. Very good shot there from Pisani. If I'm him now, I'll be looking at playing that one in the middle and kicking that red down the table. Would you do it after potting the one in the corner?
Take that one into the top corner, and then you can almost go dot to dot, really. There you go, comes back somewhere near straight. And then he can land this however he likes to come down for the red.
I'd just like to kick it down the table. It's the greed in me that's taking over, Luke.
Yeah, do you know what? I think
I want 2 reds over the bag, and you can't fail to get on the black.
I think a lot of pros now are quite happy just to settle back their potting ability every time, just to be able to roll one of these down the line. Even though, I mean, I know on the Rassons they're a lot tougher than they used to be.
Yeah, he played that very well. And bearing in mind, when he played the red up the rail, bridging over 2 yellows and knocked that in clean as a whistle, then.
This is the thing as well, is that both boys have played 3 matches by this point. They're really warmed into the weekend, so I'm not expecting a lot of misses. It's going to be more the cue ball, what's going to catch them out.
Well, the P is on the board.
Yeah, good response that from Ryan Pisani, obviously making that mistake in the last. comes back with a good clearance of his own in the next, and it's 2-1. And he is back on break as well. Obviously, that was that technical break of serve, as we call it, Tony.
Yep.
See Rob just having a look over. Obviously, the other table's on in the background.
So how's your pool been? Your absentee playing all right?
I don't know if it's worth asking, Tony.
Okay, then we'll go back to this then.
No, do you know what? Local league, I've had a good year. I've played 56 games in our local league in single frame format. I won 49 of them, so you might see me back on the Challenger next year.
You're going to come back here? Should do.
Yeah, if you ever need me, Tone, I'm always local to here. Dry break though from Ryan. Can't keep that momentum going. Opportunity goes back to Rob Wharne. He's a bit unlucky because he has split the balls really, really well, all of them flying up to the top half of the table.
Yeah, yellows for me all day long.
Yeah, if the two are a direct plant into the middle, they all have pockets.
Nothing to move.
These are the finishes you want as a pro, just to be able to walk up and free your arm.
I want them up easier than that, to be fair.
I mean, we can't all hang 6 balls over pockets and have the black in the middle, but
why not?
It's probably as good as.
Give me one reason why not.
Because I can't break like that, Tony, when we play each other, that's why. You'll be lucky to get a ball out of me. I'll probably stick them all on side cushions for you.
Well, for Rob Wall now, it's just guiding the cue ball. Now, he'd rather be straight on that plant, but will he opt for the other side?
I was always almost wondering if he tried to land on it just the shot before.
He's just.
I don't think he can land on this again. I think he has got to lay down for the one on the cushion first. Oh, but didn't see him missing it.
No, I didn't. That's incredible.
I didn't think it was direct into the centre of the pocket, but I didn't see him missing it. That's a huge opportunity miss from Rob. And he's left the reds open for Ryan.
Looking a bit puzzled.
This is the only thing, obviously, with Rob sometimes. It feels like he just gets a little bit almost distracted, and then when he just misses that one ball, he just goes off the boil a little bit. Such a streaky player is Rob, obviously, meaning that in a good way in terms of the fact that he can just reel off 6-7 frames in a row. Sometimes if he just loses that bit of momentum, he loses that edge a little bit.
I think this format suits burst players. So
yes,
races to 5. You can have a bad few minutes and then burst, win 3 or 4 in a row, nick a set out of absolutely nowhere.
I think we're seeing that with a couple of the players that are coming through as well, the ones that are having success this weekend. As I say, someone like Joe Prince is very, very good, that when he goes on a bit of a run, he can reel off 4 or 5 in a row. That cue action just allows it because it loosens up. I think the more methodical players that kind of tick off frame after frame and that are the ones that have suffered a little bit this weekend. I think players like Aaron Davies, players like Sean Story that are very tactical, very methodical are going to get caught out in this format a little bit. This has been very good again from Ryan Pisani. I think he has settled now. Cue ball's absolutely plumb.
Yep, perfect. This is 2-2.
With 18 minutes left on the clock, Ryan equalises at 2-2. Let's have a look over here. Craig Waddingham at the table against John Rowe.
2-2 in the second set.
A bit to work out in this frame. Obviously, it just depends on that 8 ball on the top cushion. I do like the way that it's set up, the fact that you've obviously got the mainstream table and then you've got the other stream table that's just a little bit off behind it, just allows a bit of breathing room for both players.
Yeah, there's a screen in between, so but there is a viewing area if somebody in the venue wants to watch that game, go and sit around there. And
yeah, of course, it's a good advertisement. Any players that are nearby to Red Hill or anybody that enjoys watching their pool, definitely come down and have a look because the setup is brilliant this weekend.
And it's free to get in.
Free entry.
Free entry.
Unless you run into Tony, in which case it's a fiver. Anyway, opportunity for Ryan again. The split isn't so kind. He hasn't got a nice opener here. Wants reds. May be forced into taking a bit of an awkward plant on. Good opener for that from Ryan. Now his issue is probably going to be that red on the left-hand side cushion. I think it does just drop in the middle pocket, but I think ideally you either want to get it out or double it. Which is why I think he's looking at getting rid of this red now. What's he going to reach?
That's going to be a foul. Ball in hand.
Oh, Ryan. I've got to say, that's a bit of a rookie error, Tony, isn't it?
Yeah, from somebody who's not a rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why he's hit it so soft.
I think he was just trying to hold the cue ball for the red into the top right. In the grand scheme of things, he didn't really need to. Could have just played up a little bit higher. Always had the red in the middle pocket, worst case scenario. And it's not a glorious opportunity for Rob, but it's one he wouldn't have expected, and he's missed the yellow into the top left. So now this is an important frame for both players because they've both had chances already. You know, Ryan's now got that issue of both reds that are that bottom left-hand side cushion. Obviously, Rob put in one there. He played his shot into the middle pocket earlier on. It's not where he wants to. Isn't where he wants to be here. Yeah, with 15 minutes left on the clock, Tony, looks like it could get a bit scrappy.
Yeah, it's a funny layout. See for Ryan, the 2 reds. Left-hand side of the table are not in a great spot, and he wants an angle to move him now, and he can cut this ball into the bottom right-hand corner. If he could sort of check the cue ball, he'd go into that yellow, that's the one that's above the higher of the 2, and that would push the 2 reds out as well.
You just don't want to
take the lot out, but you don't want to go too far up the table because obviously Rob's covered that bag up in the top left, so it's a funny old shot here. So he went into the yellow and got 1 out. He does have an angle now on the 1 into the bottom left-hand corner, but he's got 𝗵𝗃𝗃.
The problem is he needed to get both reds out, and I think he needed to hit it with a bit more pace. The issue with that as well, though, is if he'd hit it harder, he could have slid off the ball, which would have been even worse. So it's a tough spot there for Ryan. Obviously, he's got the 1 out, but now he can't land on the higher ball because he's hampered. So I think he might be going for a tough double here into the top right. Yeah, he went for it, and he was nowhere near.
Long, long way away from that was Ryan. And this frame's had some mileage in it.
Which makes it all the more important, you feel. I mean, in terms of who it's more important to, I suppose you'd say slightly to Rob, obviously because it's Rob's break that we're doing it in. But You feel like Ryan's had the better of the chances in the frame.
Yeah, Ryan sat there. I did detect that looked like 𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃 was just stood behind Ryan, his good friend from Malta. There's work to be done.
Yeah, you feel like this is the shot. Screw back, get into a nice position between the two yellows. It's not ideal. I mean, Rob maybe has a little bit of a shot where he could maybe take the yellow he's closest to into the top left and just sit the white back on the red he's next to.
Tough ball. He's really hung one up here.
Well, he committed to it.
He's saying that rolled out a bit. I can tell that by the way he put his hand out there and sort of turned, looking to either the referee or the crowd.
Let's have a look.
But I think he's convinced he's pulled away.
Oh, you know.
Wow, it did.
He might have a point, yeah. Ryan's missed the red. Has he got away with it? Has he got the cover?
No, he hasn't. He hasn't got away with that. Now, whether that yellow's gone through a couple of fingerprints or you'd like to think not chalk marks in this day and age, because I've commentated on quite a lot of matches on here and I've not seen anything roll off up the table, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, it's going to be finger marks. I mean, the tables are so, the cloths are so thin in the way that they play that a slight finger mark can actually make a huge difference. But Rob is going to get away with it. Ryan not taking that opportunity.
Nice control, leaves himself in the gap. Down goes the black ball, and it is 3-2 to the whacker. He's just saying it's rolled off.
Yeah, Rob not happy.
Well, I don't think there's really anything you can do there. I'll be totally honest, and I've seen a lot of balls played up there, and some have hung in the jaws. And I really don't think, that ball did definitely deviated away, but I think it's gone through fingerprints.
Yeah, I mean, potentially at the end of the set, they might just brush the table just to see if there are any finger marks on it, just to get rid of anything that might be there. But at the end of the day, you're in play. You've already played 4 frames on the table and not had anything to complain about. Obviously, when it happens at that point, it's not ideal, but you're in the set, you're in play. So, as I say, at the end of the set, they may have a look at it, but for the time being, there's not a lot that Mark Goff can do.
I'll tell you what, Rob Wharne will be refusing balls up there now.
Yeah.
That'll be implanted in his mind.
Well, this will be it. With Rob, there are quite a few mentality changes in when he plays. You know, Rob's a bit more of an emotive player than most. So yeah, you just wonder, will that affect him? I think the important thing here for Rob is that he can get out the set. If he wins the first set, I don't think it will affect him too much. But if that plays on his mind and he goes on to lose this set against Ryan, it could be pretty deadly, to be honest. But Ryan going dry there isn't going to help the Maltese's chances. Yellows. Need a slightly better nudge than that. The 2 yellows still tied together. He has got a way to get them out. A little bit in between.
Yeah, awkward.
Yeah, you either wanted to be on this one a little bit straighter, or be on the other yellows in the middle a little bit thinner. He wasn't on either, so he's missed the yellow into the corner.
And he was really good on the next yellow, because he'd have played it into the middle, bumped the black away from the other yellow, and it was up.
Yeah, you can still see that Rob's still thinking about it.
Absolutely.
But he is in a good position in this frame, there's not. He needs to either find a hiding place or find a way to remove a couple of yellows from awkward spots. that red in the middle, but there wasn't a lot he could really do with it. In a tough spot here is the P. He needs to get out, can't fall 4-2 behind at this point. 15-second shot clock kicks in as well. It's just left the one to the top right. He's a bit unlucky not to be able to hide that.
I think this one goes through the gap, doesn't it? Shallow.
You've got to say, if Ryan's missed that, it's poor when he's played that shot, because I think he was looking to try and hide that in that spot. And that's actually a bit of a gift here for Rob.
Well, these two balls, and he'll be on the hill in set one.
And it'll be on his break as well, so he'll have 2 bites at the cherry, worst case scenario.
Down goes to black. Rob Wharne 4-2 up in this first set.
It feels like one of those matches at the moment, Tony. It doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you get there. I don't think either player's really been at their absolute best so far, but Rob just taking more of the opportunities. I think both players can be excused. Obviously, they've played 3 games already today. Obviously, this set's format can drag
Ryan
out.
Pisani there just pondering what he did, I think, when he presented that chance to Rob Wharne. And Rob's looking a lot happier now than he was a couple of frames ago.
It's always a bit easier when you're ahead, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Just to give you a score update from table 2 as well, Craig Waddingham is now 4-3 up on John Rowe in that second set. So, opportunity to equalise at 1-1 on table 2. As Rob's thunderous break kicks back in again. There you go, 3 down. Nice little split and a good opportunity to take the first set.
Yeah, one dodgy yellow.
He's got a good angle on it now, though, to play that yellow into the middle pocket. Try and pump that out. Perfectly played.
Yeah, but where's he landed?
I think
he can only get to the yellow at the top, can he?
No, he can get to this one to the bottom right, I think. Or can he not? Oh, wow. OK, the red has covered it. My apologies. Camera angle catching me out there. It's been a little while time.
This does go past the red at the top, but it's a lot tougher shot.
It's beautifully played.
That's fine. Now he's going to have to come down now, play this yellow into the bottom right-hand corner, but he must leave himself a path to get up the table, to get onto that yellow that's next to the black ball, and he has done.
He's got a nice little one he can play through.
Do you dig deep and come off the side cushion? I would.
Yeah, I wouldn't have played directly up the way he has. It's not bad, it's not great.
Now then, do you play this hard into the middle and come off the bottom rail, or do you just take the long black into the corner?
I think...
You're going to say that now he's played it.
Well, whacker by name, whacker by nature.
Absolutely.
He was always going to hit it with a bit more pace, wasn't he?
Yeah. That's a fair old finish there from Rob Wharne, and he completes that by knocking in the black ball, and he now wins the first set, 5-2. And return to our feature match. Rob Wharne, Ryan Pisani. We did have a little table issue which has been fixed by our team of referees and table mechanics. There's 𝗧𝗃𝗲𝗿 just texting family to say the match has started again.
And it's a good start from Ryan Pisani as well. Good ball off the break. That was the split. Once again, it's one of these, it's not bad, it's not great, just a little bit of work to do.
Anybody just joining now, Rob Wharne did win that first set. 5-2 in the end.
Is there anything particular that Ryan really needs to change going into this second set? Obviously lost the first one against Rob.
There was a couple of errors in there. Not much, but the thing is these little fine lines in these games. There was getting out of position. He had a dry break here and there. I mean, you can't do a great deal about them.
felt like a really pivotal frame when they were at 2-all.
Yeah.
They both had a couple of opportunities in
I'll
that.
tell you, the one was when he left the ball short and gave the ball in hand, playing a shot into the middle. That was, you know, you have to say criminal at best. And that was, you know, you're just gifting your opponent a frame. But anyway, he's reset, he started again. He's had a nice break because obviously they've come out, they've had to sort the table out.
Yeah, this is the one now. He's just got to play a nice little positional shot to land on the yellow next to the black ball, or the 8 ball. Really got to play with just a trace of right-hand side just to get it past the red that's above.
It's sort of flick it.
Yeah. There you go there, just to the right of the cue ball was Ryan, and there you go.
We take this long now into the top corner. Drag the cue ball back a couple of inches. And this is a start he would definitely wanted to the second set.
Yeah, and this is where in the last game I felt like Zach Cooper just fell flat a little bit. You know, that first set, you know, even though you've lost it, you have got to kind of spur yourself on and look at the positives, which I feel like Ryan did in that first set. Didn't do a whole lot wrong, but just a couple of little errors in there. But he's come out and he's bounced back in the second set. Zach in the match before against Declan didn't quite do that. He never just gained that momentum. But I think Ryan is one of, I think, the very best players actually in the arena. When he's having a bit of a bad time, he can just switch off and go again. So just that first frame, Ryan obviously doing that off the break, so Rob's still on break, so Rob won't be worried at all. So Rob would have been overlooking, obviously, the referees doing all the table, making sure everything was spot on. But here we go, Rob to break. 1-0 down in set 2. Just about makes a ball into the left-hand middle. And a good opportunity for Rob to equalise. It's a nice opportunity on reds.
Yes, handy, because he can take these 2 reds out, leave that one over the bag for later. That's his ball to connect to the 8 ball. He'll want to sail down the table off this red now and attack the 4 at the bottom.
It's always a nice finish when you've got an availability of pockets, and I feel like with this clearance, Rob can take the reds down in the bottom corner in a couple of different orders.
He hasn't got to worry about the 8 ball because there's no way you're going to leave yourself snookered on that ball over the bag. So it's just knock these in, get anywhere. I mean, you've got the whole side of that table as well over to the right, and the ball over the bag. And this is, well, drop-ins. Absolute drop-ins. This is 1-all. You'd like these, Luke, wouldn't you?
I'll back myself 8 out of 10 to get them.
I'd back myself to get the 2 reds, probably miss the black though.
Yeah, that's the figure. A bit of loose position, end up beyond the 2 yellows.
I'd just completely miscue it.
You know, I'd blame the crowd a little bit, say it rolled off a bit.
Tiny bit of left-hand side, you saw the spin there, you saw the dot spinning to the left, and that is perfect. So Rob Wharne to level things up in set 2. In goes the 8. And the whacker fires back immediately.
Yeah, Rob will just want this done now. You know, it's a bit of a rubbish thing when you take the first set and then you end up losing the next because you know you've lost your momentum a bit. As we just quickly switch back over, obviously Craig Waddingham at the table again against John Rowe. Score at the moment, it's still 1-all in this one.
I was having a little chin wag with John earlier, and he saying he really likes this format.
I like the format as well. I think it allows for difference and it allows for those momentum shifts. I think when you do long races, they are entertaining, but I think at the same time, if a player was to fall a long way behind, there's no real way for them to get back. I found I commentated on the Masters last year, and there was a really good game in the, I think it was the quarterfinals. Jack Whelan played Chris Mellon, and Jack had one of the slowest starts I've ever seen him make. And that was it. He lost the first set, and as well as he played in the next two, there was almost no point, because Chris Mellon, all he had to do was just run out, and it felt like the game was over after the first set. It didn't really kind of pick up after that, but this allows it to, as you said with Josh 𝗏 earlier against Tom Cousins. So many momentum changes, and it makes it more entertaining.
Yeah, you just see the reaction there from Ryan Pisani as he sends the cue ball into the middle bag. Again, the cardinal sin of breaks to go straight into the centre pocket.
Yeah, good opportunity again for Rob. And this is the first opportunity for either player to break that serve in the third set. Fairly open opportunity with reds. The red towards the bottom right is complicated though.
Yeah, he's going to go off the yellow, I think, here immediately. Plays this red, flick it off the side of that yellow. He tried to and he missed the yellow.
Well, I think you'd forgive him if he'd hit the yellow, but the fact that he's missed it altogether, it's a poor
He's
shot.
trying to play it very, very thin, because what he wanted to do was the yellow to get out of the way without hitting the red. So I think if he catches it thin, yellow goes up to the top of the table, just frees the pocket up.
So yeah, right.
Yeah, it'd be disappointing because he's quite straight behind it as well, wouldn't he, Luke?
Yeah, I think if you were watching an amateur do that, or maybe a challenger do that, you'd probably say, oh, okay, it's maybe a little bit unlucky, this, that, the other. If it's a pro, there's that level of expectation, isn't there, that they're going to be able to play a shot like that. So it's a bit harsh, but you would say it's a poor one. But Ryan's getting away with that bad break, and he's back at the table a lot sooner than I think he would have thought he would have done.
He's annoyed where he's left himself because he's queuing over this yellow.
Yeah, it's good pot. And if he can get this shot right and just get that white back into an area, then he should run out here. You can see it there. So just to the right of where the cue ball is now would be ideal. There's no problem with that. You can just take the higher yellow. Potentially, if he wants to, he can just play a little cannon on the red near the yellow towards the bottom right, just to free that up a little bit more, because he's got the angle to do it. Exactly like that. Lovely shot. Now he's just got to cross the I's, dot the T's, and this should be 2-1.
Yeah, and he's had a result here because it was a poor break, and the whackers let him get away with it.
Yeah, it's strange because, so the first two frames were very, very easy. Both players just got in, cleared up, and it felt a bit like that. There's been a couple of frames where both players have just flown through, but it feels like when one makes a mistake, the other does as well. Just interesting kind of momentum shifts with that, but Ryan Pisani taking a 2-1 lead. He looks pretty calm and relaxed out there. Does always help when you've got obviously your mate in your corner, obviously Clayton coming over with him.
Yeah, he'll be cheering him on. They always support each other very well, but also having a little giggle as well with Rob.
That was amazing, the fact that Rob had that obviously big laugh, and then the moment he turned around, it just flipped back into game mode.
Huge break there from Wharne. Makes the ball.
Just where that red is connected back up to the yellows towards the left middle, that's just kind of a little bit awkward for him. If that just stops before, it's pretty simple out. Yeah, he may try and go into it straight away. See there, he's gone for, oh, that's a beautiful shot from Rob Wharne.
Great shot there.
Just see the kind of bow of the white ball there. Now we can just take the red above the two that are together into the top right and just unlock the last of his work.
Just wanted to flick into that red there. It didn't quite happen. And I don't like playing that cut up the rail now because you're bridging over the black.
Yeah, it's a bit. It's not too bad because it's a kind of a second chance. Because if he makes the ball, he should flick the reds. There you go.
Yeah, he's played that very well indeed. That was tricky. Very tricky indeed. You know, I like the way he just stopped then. He was about to go and play, and he thought, hang on, let me just check the angle I want on this plan. I know it looks very easy, but sometimes if you leave the wrong angle, the second ball, you're on the wrong angle as well.
There you go, very nicely played.
And just the simple stuff, and it's going to be 2-all.
Nearly landed short, but he's just about got there. And that'll do for Rob Wharne. That's 2 each. Both players still on serve. As Mark Goff there just sets up the balls for frame 5.
So Rob Wharne has broken dish both of his. Ryan Pisani broke a dish the first one, but waiting off the break in his second. But Rob Wharne handed him back a second chance, which he took. And we are sat at 2-all in set 2.
Just a little score update for you. Phil Harrison is on the hill in the losers section against Jimmy Croxton. He is 1-0 and 4-2 up as things stand. And Neil Raybone's taken an early lead in their deciding set between himself and Stevie Dempsey. He's 2-1 ahead.
Well, Ryan Pisani certainly does want to go in off this break. You feel that Rob Wharne might not give him a second chance.
A few more breaks like that, Ryan, and you will be absolutely fine. I mean, look at the split on the yellows.
And the reds. Take your pick. That frame's as good as done.
I think the only way you can look at it, Tony, is if me and you are at the table, which one will we more likely mess up?
Both. That's for me anyway. You'll be all right.
I don't know. It's been a little while.
You said you won 49 out of 51 games.
Yeah, it's local league, Tony. Give me a break. I get a couple of opportunities in that. I wasn't getting battered by Brad McCulloch or any of the other Tier 1 pros. Or Tier 1 challengers, my apologies.
Well, Ryan opting for the yellows. And really, he could have took either. It didn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he's took yellows because I think the black's probably easier going down to the corner with a big pocket with the red.
Exactly that. I mean, that is the split that you would want every single time just to tick off. Not too much to do with the cue ball. The only shot he's really got to judge even in the slightest, to be honest, is just the plant with the 2 yellows, but he can land right behind it. So I'm not seeing too many issues there. There you go, just drop this in and bring the white back out. There you go. Sometimes you almost don't even have to commentate because the players do the work for you, Tone. Don't want to put you out of a job.
That was my deliberate silence. And that's pretty perfect. And there is the reply from Ryan Pisani, clean into the bag. And 3-2 to the man from Malta in this second set. Does trail by 1-0 against Rob Wharne. as he has a little chat with 𝗘𝗃𝗲𝗿.
I wanted to ask you, Tony, obviously a lot of the events that we do, obviously you've been up in Blackpool, in Stoke, Wigan, Bolton. How does it feel to have one in the south?
It's very nice. I mean, you know, it's nice for the players that live in the south as well, that for a change you don't have to travel all the way up into the north of England. But yeah, no, it's great, and it's a lovely place here as well. It's Spots and Stripes in Redhill.
Yeah, I mean the club was founded, obviously. I mean, I live about 20 minutes down the road from here. Nigel and Robin were the two that now run the club. It has been around for quite a while, but until now it had a couple of owners. The owner that ran it recently didn't take too much care of it, and these two have stepped in and done an amazing job in setting up the arena, getting all of the tables up to scratch, and you can really see the difference. I can't fault them.
I mean, Nigel Smith's been fabulous, you know, with us all weekend, and he's been out and about everywhere, making sure that all the players are happy, and you know, he's been a joy. Always a smile on his face as well. He's enjoying having the pro event here as well. I know the players have there's not one person that's come out saying, "No, I don't like it." You know, they've all said it's a lovely place, very clean, just pleasant. It's a pleasant atmosphere to play in as well. I like it because their arena's right in the middle of the venue as well. He's got lucky there, by the way.
Yeah, Rob went a bit out of position with his first shot, and he's still not. I don't know if he's really got any ready. He's got the thin slice here that he's looking at now. But from what was a fairly elementary first opportunity, has very quickly gone wrong. But it's another good recovery.
Well, is it?
I think he's got the red into the top left. He's battling here. Yeah, he's got the inner red to the top right as well.
He's made that. That's a great pot.
I don't think this goes into the top right, does it? I don't know if this passes. I don't know. I'm surprised if it doesn't. You see here, he's putting a little bit aside on that. In fact, he had to cut it into the top right. And is that going to reach the pocket? It's not a foul, but yeah, I'm very surprised, because when he initially had the three reds, he had the red into the top left corner initially. You would take that one on, because if you pot that, then you've got the red that it's next to into the bottom right, and it unlocks itself. Taking the inner one the way that you did, you had to know that that red went into the top right, and it didn't. So it's a little bit of a mistake that from Rob. I know he was fighting the cue ball that whole finish, but probably has offered Ryan an opportunity here that he shouldn't have got.
Yeah, one you'd expect him to get as well.
And in this shot here, Ryan's come a little bit in between.
Jimmy Croxton and Phil Harris are now 4-all in that set.
Good comeback in that set from Jimmy. It'd be good to see if he went to a deciding set in that.
Ryan taking on the easier pot. Probably the right decision. Okay, you can come back up to that one later.
Yeah, this feels like another one of these scrappy frames where both players are just battling a little bit with the cue ball.
He's okay, is Ryan here. What he doesn't want is to be straight on the ball at the bottom of the table. That's fine.
That's about perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can just try and use this right-hand side to come up and land, probably on the higher yellow into the top left first. Just see how he goes about this. He decided just to go up bit by bit, so he's going to take the yellow into the top right, and then he'll take the yellow into the top left and just land on the 8 ball. No issue with that whatsoever. And overall, apart from that kind of scrappy frame in between, this has been a very well played out set from Ryan Pisani. Short with that, but no issues at all. Has the big pocket with the red. Just means he's got to stretch a little bit more, but
that's just no problem.
And
There you go. Ooh. A little bit in between, but no issue. Just got to drop it in. And this for 4-2. Yeah, very, very efficient from Ryan Pisani the last couple of frames.
Well, Pisani on the hill to take the second set. Rob Wharne there had a chance to level it at 3-3, but he's let that one slip. And now he needs all 3 frames remaining of this set if he's going to win this match and stop Ryan Pisani taking it to the final set.
Just a couple of score updates for you. On table 2, John Rose taken the lead in the third set. He's 3-2 up now on Craig Waddingham. Carl Morris and Callum Singleton are 3-all in their second set. Carl Morris having taken the first set. And in another deciding set, Dom Cooney is 3-1 up on John McAllister. So John McAllister just in a bit of trouble. But Ryan breaking off to try and take the second set here. And he makes a ball.
Yeah, and they're there. Reds or yellows. You've got the yellow and the red stuck close together at the top of the table. Both of them are available to pot cleanly. I'd probably angle towards yellows myself because you've got the easy starting ball at the bottom.
Yeah, you've just got to land a little bit particular on that yellow that's closest to the top cushion, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not too bad when you've got that yellow hanging over the top right pocket. And I'll tell you what, I think Ryan might have landed on it straight away, which is even better. See him come around and have a look at it now.
Oh, he's pulled right off that.
I think he tried to play it with a tracer's side just to drop it in, and I think because of that it's thrown. So, opportunity for Rob Wharne, probably where he wasn't expecting it. Tries to go into it, it's not too bad.
It's not that great either.
Yeah, the reason I say it's not too bad, I think the red that's closest to that top left pocket still pots, so we can bring that red out, and I think with the red that he's got on the right hand side, I think he can just drop that into the middle off the yellow still. In fact, he tried to screw behind it. That's not too bad. Just drop this into the middle pocket. That's lost the cue ball. See there, he wants to try, I think he wants to try and throw this off of a couple of cushions to land back on the red to the similar middle pocket. In fact, he screwed off of one. That's a good shot.
Well, it's going to be a fair old crash bang wallop, I think, into this. No?
Yeah, I think this goes. I think that's why he's played on this. And he can pump into the red with this shot.
If you pump into it, it's going towards that yellow in the middle, isn't it?
I think he can play it in a... Well, ooh, well.
I didn't like it.
It definitely went. So...
I'm going to disagree.
I'd be interested to have a bit of a look back. So I'm
still on the table.
Yeah. Oh, I don't disagree with that part, Tony.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like. Hello.
Oh well, Ryan's now missed. He gifted it straight back to Rob. Here we go.
It goes very slowly, but I don't think it goes at that pace. And he was asking an awful lot.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
It's a little smirk there. I don't think he's quite on these reds. And he's missed. Well, well, well.
See what I mean? It's just followed this theme in this match that both players get in, make good clearances, and then when one of them misses, it just all of a sudden turns into a thing.
Well, Ryan's not going to miss these this time.
Never say never, Tony, but at the same time...
I'm saying it.
You're shoving down the gauntlet.
I definitely have. Sometimes, and as we've just gone to it, the 15 seconds of shot can help you when you're in decision time and things like that, because you haven't got time to think.
Gives you that clarity, yeah.
Anywhere. Pot the yellow at the top corner. Come back 2-3 inches. 2 roll-ins, and we are going to go to a third and final set.
I mean, a little bit, apart from a little bit of a hiccup in this frame, I suppose, Ryan's definitely turned it on a lot more in the second set. He's looked a lot more clinical, a lot more efficient. And that now puts the pressure onto Rob Wharne, because Rob's now the one that's lost his momentum and has to come out and do it in the last set. Very good from Ryan Pisani, and it is 1 set all.
Yep, both 5-2s.
Seals their place in the next round. Rob with that thunderous break, making a ball off. And it's a good first opportunity. Normally, if you're watching another pro, you'd always get a little, well, I suppose another player, you would always get a little bit worried when they go for that real hammer front ball break and they don't kind of loop their finger around. There's no kind of...
Yeah.
But Rob always gets through it so straight. Decided to go yellows here. Yeah, it's gone wrong. There was a bad first positional shot.
It was always going to slide.
He actually played a bad first positional shot to land where he did, and then he tried to play it with tons of side to try and hold it, but as you say, it just straightens right up. Really loose first visit that from Rob. It's poor, to be honest. And Ryan is now going to get his first opportunity. Yeah, when you're coming into a final set, Tony, you really want to kind of hit the ground running, keep things efficient, keep things clean, and that was just a little bit reckless from Rob. And that's a poor one from Ryan.
I can't believe
what's going on.
He's tried to play that and knock Rob's yellow safe, and all he's done is he's left him bang on it.
He's offered the assist. Just wonder how many twists and turns are left in this game, because
lots. I both look edgy now.
Rob looked really up for this, and he looked really kind of clean and composed until he had that issue with the yellow that rolled out in the first set, and then he just lost a little bit. And then Ryan kind of picked up a bit of momentum, and then Rob's missed again.
Yeah, hits it a bit chunky.
It's not a good opportunity for Ryan to get out here, but it's definitely an opportunity to take control of the frame. 2 reds towards the top right corner are easy snookering balls, should he decide to use them. Very interesting early exchanges here. I think he has gone up to play that snooker. Landing high of the 2 reds. There we go, he's just going to tuck up behind the lower red of the 2. And he's not got the snooker either.
No.
And the thing is, these mistakes will bite into the match clock as well. Let's not forget that they are on a 30-second timer for each set. It's a good pot from Rob. I think it's for Rob as well. This isn't winning this frame, is just holding his serve. It's not really gaining anything too much.
I think in a match like this, when the mistakes are creeping in, every frame you can get now is a massive bonus.
Still got to play a good shot here to land nicely on the 8-ball. Yeah, that's pretty good. Just got to drop this in. And does.
Well, down goes the black ball, and after a pretty error-strewn frame of pool, the whacker has taken the opener in his third and final set. Ryan, 2 really bad safety shots. Well, you couldn't even call them safety shots.
Yeah, I mean the first one was it was a De Bruyne-esque assist, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Straight over the pocket, and then in the second one he just tried to feather in beyond that red. He didn't land nicely to play the snooker because he was the other side of the table, and it's so hard to judge that with a bit of pace. Obviously you've got to take into account any finger marks that are on the table, as we previously assumed, and all these other things that really factor on that kind of shot. And in the end he played a bad one. But the way he's got to look at it, he's still on his break, so just got to kind of clear your head and go again. But now he's gone dry, so not an ideal start for the P. You can just see enough of this yellow just to sneak it into the top left.
Yep.
There you go. He's got that one out of the way. It's not a bad opportunity.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's just all about the position now. Play that yellow down into the bottom left-hand corner. You can stop the white where sort of just above the yellow. Then the yellow at the bottom of the table is available.
I don't blame him getting that one out of the way, just because it would have been awkward to land on it probably later on. So the rest of these require a little bit less motion of the cue ball. Played with loads of sides to get up there. That's a great shot. Just got to cue the last one nicely. As I say, these pockets do have a tendency to rattle, so he's got to cue this clean to get the cue ball back.
Yeah, he just wants to get back just by that middle bag, past it. The red holds. Well, he doesn't need to. He can just stop this dead.
Yeah. And very quickly, he's got the mistakes of that first frame out of his head.
Yeah, and this will make you feel better if you go 2 up.
Very good response this from the whacker. And that is 2-0.
Down it goes. Rob Wharne. 2 to the good in his third and final set.
He's just got that little bit of like a whacker strut about him, hasn't he, when he's playing well. You can just see the eyes are a bit more determined. Let's just have a look here onto our second table.
Sean Sharkey.
Liverpool missed that one from Sean, but up against young Jaden Billingham, obviously Jaden, our youngest pro.
Very, very good player, this young man.
I noticed this weekend when I was watching, I kind of spotted Jaden earlier on, that he's got rid of his looped bridge. Obviously, that was something that he got critiqued on quite a bit for when he first went pro. Rob holding out his hand of apology there, just a bit of a loose cue ball to start, but good break all in all. Yeah, very nearly went in off in the middle. Very thin plant to start off.
The only problem with that is where the second red's gone.
Just tied up enough on that yellow, isn't it, that it's now an issue. I wonder if he'll take the opportunity. You've got the red over the pocket now. If you can kind of top through on that and leave the white somewhere near the 8 spot, gives you an angle to go back into it. Exactly like so. Maybe he wanted it to stop a little bit shorter so he wasn't hampered. But
yeah, you want to play into the bottom rail, into the side rail, and then kick into it. Trickier now.
Yeah, I think he had to go direct because of that, but that's beautiful from Rob.
Very nice shot there, and all of a sudden, the whacker's found overdrive.
Yeah, all of a sudden you can see him starting to fly, can't you? And this will not be good watching for Ryan Pisani. Because now he'll be thinking what a difference that first frame made. If he gets one of those snookers right, it could be a completely different context.
Yeah.
But
Rob Wharne has certainly grown in confidence as he starts to be the whacker that we all know and love.
prime whacker. And it's 3-0.
Wasted no time at all in running those out.
It's an easy watch, isn't it, Tony, when he's flowing like that?
I love watching him play. He's great. It's but there are little spells when Rob just goes a little bit maybe erratic or something, sort of, I don't know, trips him over somewhere, and it just doesn't quite happen, you know, the latter stages.
This is kind of what I was alluding to.
I know you were.
He kind of builds himself up and up and up and up, and then eventually he just hits that kind of like peak, and then he drops. And it feels like if he can just tinker with that and stop that happening, or when he drops, just not drop it as much, that'll make the difference between him and winning a title.
And on the other side of that coin, Ryan Pisani would pride himself in not, when he plays a safety, not to leave his opponent with a big chance, and you know he'll be very frustrated. And
he's gone dry again as well, which will not help him.
And look at the split.
Yeah, and it was a good hit as well from Ryan.
It's amazing, isn't it? After that very first frame in this third set, Luke, how this has completely gone over to one side of the arena, which is the man there in the blue, black and white. And it has all gone his way since then. Potentially, this could be the quickest set of the entire weekend, I reckon.
Well, he's 3-0 up. We're less than 9 minutes in at this point.
And he's looking like 4-0, really. He's got those two reds in the middle of the table, which he's sort of pondering which way to go around them. But
yeah, just a little bit of work just to make sure you land nicely on a couple of balls, including the 8 ball. But
it's going in now.
Yeah, he's
and rightly so, I think, because if he can just push the cue ball through here, and he can play into the other right-hand middle, and then rub into the yellow that's just next to that other red, if he has a bit of angle. Okay, he's going to have to leave that one over the bag till last, but he won't bother. He'll leave himself a shot at the black ball. He has a bit of angle here. Not bothered. Okay.
Well, he can actually play it here to screw into it.
You took the mouth right out of my words. Comes into the black.
There you go.
Yeah, very nice there from Rob.
Just one more good shot just to land on this. Just
yeah, got to be careful. He can slide when he comes off that bottom rail and go towards the yellow that's on the right-hand side, and he'll end up playing a double.
I wonder if he'd be tempted to see if you can screw it directly back. I know it's slightly to one
really
side.
Thin off the knuckle.
Oh, look at that.
That's the shot, the thin off the knuckle.
Love it. Absolutely love it, Tony. Oh, well, just off the jaw. And it's 4-0 to Rob Wharne. He is on the hill. Huge pressure on Ryan Pisani now to take out 5 in a row.
Well, Rob Wharne absolutely buzzing. Saved his best for last.
I mean, the last 3 frames, he has just flown, hasn't he? He's blitzed it.
We could use flames if you want to, because he's on fire. You're about to say flames instead of frames.
I was about to, yeah. I don't know if you can make that sound effect, Tony, but...
No, you're asking a bit too much now, Luke, I'm afraid.
Yeah, a lot to ponder here for Ryan Pisani. I think he'll
He'll look back at this as an opportunity missed, because he has had opportunities, especially in the first set. But also in that first frame of this set, he really did have a chance to stamp his authority and didn't do it.
Well, Rob Wharne just requires one more frame.
Oh, is that the one where he's going to go dry? It is.
He is going to go dry as he smiles.
Lifeline for Ryan Pisani now. I mean, it's slim chances, but it is a chance. You can see there, he's just tracing, trying to find a ball. And there's the little nod. Always the way, Rob. Anyway, opportunity for Ryan.
Red's the ball.
Yeah, these are pretty dot to dot. It's got to be said, one kind of leads to the other. If Ryan can just take this out and break this in the next frame, you do just send the signals to the Rob of that you're not going away, that you are there to still cause an issue. And Rob won't want this to go close now that he's had a 4-0 lead.
No, like I say, if Ryan takes these out, then break and dish 4-2. We've seen him turn on a sixpence.
Just drop this one in the middle now and then play the one into the bottom left and then the one to right middle and the black in the middle.
Yeah, shouldn't be any problems here for Ryan.
He's only got to float this in. He's not the tallest player as Ryan, so he is a bit hampered on this, so got to make sure, but no issues there at all, was there?
No.
Always like to build up a bit of suspense. There you go, another pretty efficient finish from Ryan Pisani, and that is going to be 4-1. Start of the mountain to climb. Maybe a little bit of tiredness kicking in. Don't blame him. I mean, a lot of players have been here since 10, 11 o'clock this morning. Both have played. This is their 4th match of the day. Obviously in sets format, that's quite a lot of games to get through, but both still showing some good stuff. Rob will just be waiting for his one opportunity. And then I'm sure he'll have a good night's sleep. Making sure all of those reds and yellows are together nicely. Time for the cut break. Makes a ball.
Well, you can see the red at the top of the table, but then there's the 3 reds in a sort of triangle shape at the bottom of the table that look a slight issue.
Yeah, it's not a nice opportunity because the balls kind of cover each other and there's no real way to get into them.
And there's no yellow. What do you do, Luke?
I mean, it's a massive risk, but I mean, potentially you could play the double on the higher red of the 3 if you're really going for it, but well, and obviously opting to take the reds to start.
So now we're at the 3 in the triangle.
Yeah. The thing is, he can cut the one into the top left, but it doesn't really do him any favour because you're still not landing on the angle that you need. I don't know if you can really dig into this with some bottom and some left-hand side, maybe to swing it off too and try and get into him, even if you flick off the yellow, but you're digging. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's an unbelievable pot from Ryan Pisani.
Clever shot. Very clever shot.
Didn't see that one, but genius from Ryan that. Just using the three reds to flick off and pop the one that was out in the open. Does this red pass? Face initially tells me it doesn't, which is very unlucky. But he's still got an opportunity to go deeper into this clearance than we initially might have anticipated. So this is the shot, I think. Can you get down there? Can you get maybe right behind that red and see if it pots? Or do you need to go into it and have an angle to go into it? He was going for him and didn't get him.
No.
And now he's in trouble.
Not sure if he can make the double.
I have a feeling that
Can he just miss that yellow on the rail and get through that gap and then screw the cue ball into the red and yellow double?
Just clipping into it. I wonder if maybe... Well, looks like I was wrong, Tony.
Sort of like that.
Does it, now that the question is, does the red pass into the middle? I don't think it does, so he's going to have to go long.
Yeah. Well, try and get on the black as well. I
think you've just got to settle. I think
Yeah,
you've
you
just
have.
got to make sure of the pot.
We're going to know before him, I think.
I'll tell you
That's
what.
awesome. What a
Is
shot.
it going to reach? Is it going to reach?
Oh,
There
it's
you
come
go.
on the lip. It
Well-
swung back on the lip of the pocket. How unlucky was that? And he had a shot at the black ball as well.
Do feel for Ryan Pisani. That's a little bit unlucky.
Oof.
And Rob Wharne is going to have his opportunity to run out. Still not an easy clearance from where Ryan's put that red. Obviously the two yellows as well.
He's got a fairly, well, I'm not saying big chunk of land to play with over there, but he probably kicks this one off the rail here, does he? Or?
I mean, he can land on a skill shot if he wants to. I think he might have an angle now that he can land on short position if he wants as well.
Yeah, and he'd be wise to do so if he does have that, where he can just top the cue ball through.
He's a bit short.
He is short.
I mean, they're short for short position.
He's short for every position. He wanted it, well.
He can recover it. He can play
Refused it.
this.
Edgy shot. Played well. I'll tell you what, this is dodgy now though, isn't it? Let's be honest.
I think he has to pop the yellow in the middle and then go for the skill shot, I think. Looking at it, I don't know, unless
Lost
he's
the
going
turn.
long. Or is he cutting this in the middle? He is cutting it in the middle. That's a good shot. But yeah, he's not where he
Right.
wants to. So
This one, well, he can either play
do you go
yellow onto red. I don't. I play. Do you know what? I cut this yellow into the bottom right-hand corner, load of left-hand side, and come off three angles and go behind the yellow.
I tell you what, this is an effort. This is an effort.
How about that?
I tell you what, if that drops in the middle, that's a world-class shot from Rob Wharne. But I think the flicks just stopped it dropping in the middle.
Well, that's one big shot then. This yellow into the bottom corner is like a black ball.
How do you like these, Wacker, for the match? I'll tell you what. He absolutely loves them. What an out this is going to be.
What a finish.
Rob Wharne, take a bow. And that
In
is
goes the black. That is incredible.
what an out from Rob Wharne to get out there. It was unlucky from Ryan Pisani not to get out himself, but Rob Wharne has taken the game 2-1 and he's taken the final set 5-1. What a performance that was in the final set from Rob Wharne.
Yep, well done, the Wacker.